first day of the adventure. Well, yesterday I was at Uyuni, and my intention is to reach San Pedro Atacama today to pick up some clients that they're gonna be. I'm gonna be with them tomorrow. But now we are in Chalbiri Lagoon, and in here there's hot springs. That's what we are seeing in here. That's what is smoking in here, is the hot springs of Chalbiri. Here we are in the border with Chile. So the main idea was for me to go to San Pedro de Atacama to make the first contact with the clients. So I arrived to San Pedro de Atacama, which is the town that we are seeing there. There I'm exploring a little bit of the town, which is a really nice town. I made my first contact with the clients. I spent a night in there, which is a really nice village, I must say. It's not really that different from Bolivia, but one can see the differences between Bolivia and Chile, of course. But it's a really small town in which you can find a lot of tourism, a lot of tourists walking around the village. Really touristic, really a lot of agencies. So in here and the main square of San Pedro, people on a bike, something that really like. The municipality of San Pedro, policemen, and the most interesting thing in here is the church. The tower. The tower has something peculiar. If you see there, that foundation is really interesting, because in all the churches and the towers on the high plateau, it was the same structure, and the color white. For instance, we can see stuff like this. For instance, in Sabaya, you can see the gate. For instance, is cactus, Charlie cactus, really typical from the high plateau. And we're gonna get in. I don't know if it's possible to film inside, but inside in San Pedro de Atacama church, it's really interesting because we see the choir. They had an organ and a bass drum, which is my thing. The rooftop, it's really interesting because it's in cactus. It has cactus, and the design is Latin cross. It's a Latin cross, the design, and it's not Baroque. That is kind of the same design that many churches had in here in the high plateau, Bolivian and Chilean. And it's really modest, the design. It's not Baroque, like I mentioned. Latin cross, and over there is San Agustin de Hipona. And outside, it's typical design. Like many churches in here, it has an atrium. And in Spanish this is called contrafuerte, and it's used to balance and to stabilize the walls of these kind of structures. The same thing we see, for instance, in Bolivia, in the churches of Curahuara de Carangas, Sabaya, many of those churches. So, yep. I think this was the most interesting thing I saw here in San Pedro. The Chilean flag and everything. Here is San Pedro at night. This is the other face. It's the same place of the morning, but at night. So yeah, won't have the dinner. Not hungry anymore. I ate a lot of lunch, so I don't think so. Just quick beverage, and then tomorrow we pick the clients really early, and then going to Bolivia again, and then Uyuni. We'll see what happens. Hopefully everything is gonna go really well. So yeah, till tomorrow. So very early in the morning we departed from San Pedro, and we're going in here to the border, to immigration. We're now departed from San Pedro, and now we're in the border with Chile, going back to La Paz. That's to Bolivia. We can Cabur over there, and close to the border, and the cars and the group. so we'll see. Already in Bolivia, just past the border, and we're already with the group. Bolivia. Here we are in the Green Lagoon. The Green Lagoon is because of the minerals actually that are eroding from the volcano. That's Licancabur over there, and that's basically the border with Chile. So yeah, Green Lagoon is a little bit frozen, of course, because of how it is in here. The temperatures are really low. There's the clients. Then over there is White Lagoon, and then are the cars. And starting the day really good. Hopefully it's gonna get better. Red Lagoon, the hot springs, and everything. It's gonna be fun. So here we are at the Red Lagoon, Laguna Colorada, with clients. It was a really windy day. The reason of the reddish of this lagoon is basically an algae that absorbs the sunlight and it reflects exactly the red color. And of course there's more science about it. And the white thing is borax also, and there's some hot springs in the surroundings. Well, part of the adventure is that sometimes things go wrong, so dealing with it. We are in the train cemetery today, and today we're gonna go to Sal Flats, and there's the group taking pictures. And these steam trains actually, they were abandoned when the first cars were introduced in here in Uyuni, and of course after the nationalization of the mines in the 50s. And yeah, these trains were, of course, because of technology also. Steam trains they're not using anymore in the past century. But these trains are the witness of the course of history in Bolivia, and now it's a place where to visit and before the salt flats. So yeah, this is the view from inside one of these trains. It's we're inside the engine. This is the engine actually of the steam train. This was the entire system. As you can see, there was the engine. This was the chimney, you can say, and these were the place in which the pipes were heating the water, producing the steam necessary. And there's the train system. You can see the high pressure structure over there. And you can see over there. Getting into the salt flats. So once in the salt flats, the idea is having fun, to see this bizarre landscape and take advantage of it for pictures, fun pictures, to relax, to drink some wine, to have some fun, and to be impressed with this amazing place, which is 12,000 square kilometers, bigger than Titicaca Lake, and all white, and just a crust of salt. It's amazing. And here we are taking pictures with a reflex. Normally, in rain season, the salt flats become a lake, a really shallow lake, as you can see, but with the reflex of the sky on the sunset, and in the day also the reflex is like a mirror. So it creates a really beautiful effect. And something really peculiar about this video is that I let the phone, I drop it on the water with salt. So that's the reason the original audio of this video is really funny. is because of that, because I dropped it in the salt. So as you can hear, the audio is funny. It's like I was underwater. Is because the microphone was humid and with salt. Luckily, the cell phone is still intact. It's in my phone that I'm editing this video. Luckily, so well, returning to the trip. The origin of this lake actually is because salt flats are a lake, or it was a lake. Now it's not. In rainy season, it turns into a lake again. So in here, the guests are having lunch, which it was really unique because we had lunch in the middle of the lake. So something really unique to see. We're making the funny pictures and the funny videos, and and it's fun, but it's a lot of people, so it's complicated at the same time. But it's fun. It's fun. It's a good, nice way to enjoy the landscape. The photo shoot with the funny pictures in the middle of the salt flats. It's something really impressive is that this cell phone just fell off in the salt flats in the water. So it's 3:15 and everything is fine. Over there is Tunupa volcano. And this part of the salt flat is ideal for making these pictures because of the landscape. The perspective is different, and you can play with pictures with the perspective here. So yeah, we'll see. After this, in Kawasi Island, and from there we'll try to catch the sunset, and from there dinner, and that's gonna be it for today.
Müthiş, harika. Vallahi bravo. Ha, dönecekler geliyor. İçine gir. Geçer. Kaça çıkıyor Tülay?
Preparing the wine for watching sunset, and the weather in here is really peculiar because after the sun sets, the temperature drops abruptly. And after this, of course, we left salt flats, and that was the end of the salt flats and the colored lagoons.
We are right now going to changing office. I know you want to change money. Some people
We're in the Dr. Witch's market, and it's a little bit late, but today was also Tiwanaku, and the people, I think, is happy and curious. Well, the Witch's market is about this offerings to Pachamama. In here, for instance, we can see candies, we can see llamas, some fat, wine, everything is an offering for Pachamama, which is Mother Earth. So yeah, and for instance, tienda means a store. So yeah, that's it. So after Salt Flats, we came to City Tour in La Paz. So she's pointing the llama fetus or llama babies. Basically, those are offerings also for Pachamama. They go in an offering, especially in August. So all the things that they're selling over there are for offerings. The llama fetus, for instance, they're the newborns that they died, and the fetus is the same, twice the same. It's the same premise. So the group was there, and yeah. And this is the street, Linares Street. After the city tour, we came to Titicaca Lake to visit Sun Island and Copacabana. In this kind of boat, the weather was perfect, clients were really relaxed, we had good weather, nice weather, And in here, basically, in Sun Island, we visited the Incas Fontaine of Youth, which is a really interesting place to see, and Copacabana. And after Copacabana, the next day and the last day, I left the clients in the border with Peru, Casani.